Greetings, this is Amy Wentley with Chai Knuckles Knitting. This video covers the Channel Island cast-on. This is one of a series of videos covering cast-ons you can use for knitting. A link to the playlist is in the description below and on my blog at chaiknucklesknitting.com. Here's the Channel Island cast-on. This is one of the cast-ons that uses a long tail, like the long tail cast-on, the double start cast-on. So you'll need to measure out a tail long enough to complete the cast-on. I have a video in this playlist on how to measure, different ways that you can measure out how much of a tail you need. In this case, I want to cast on about 10 stitches, so I'm going to wrap the yarn 10 times around my needle and then drop that off. Now with the Channel Island cast on, remember where you dropped it off and how long this piece is. And with the Channel Island cast on, you're going to actually need to do one more step. You're going to make a special tail. So this is the amount of tail that I would normally get for a long tail cast on. But what I want to do is I want to double it. So I am going to take this point and I'm going to bring the end of my yarn around so I can measure a double length of this yarn. So this is the loop end, and then this is the end with my tail. Back up from this a little bit, and you're going to want to make a slip knot here. So with both of these strands, you're going to make a loop, and you're going to pull your yarn through to make a slip knot. So here's my slip knot. So this slip knot actually has 2 stitches on it. And these are going to be the first 2 stitches of your cast on. Stitches 1 and 2. So you're going to want to set up in a slingshot like you would with a long tail cast on. If you want to see that broken down, you can go to the long tail cast on video and see that again, but I'll show you it here. You have a little tail here. You're going to want to keep that out of the way. So hold your needle and hold that tail next to the needle just to get it out of your way. You're going to want to set up your slingshot so that your double strand is to the right on your thumb and the single strand that's attached to your ball of yarn is on your right. So this is on your left, this is on your right, okay? You're going to put your fingers through and you're going to get the double loop on your thumb and the single on your finger. Now for this cast on, you're actually going to want to take another step. You're going to want to wrap this yarn around the other way around your thumb. So you're going to drop your thumb down and come around to the front so that the yarn goes from the needle across the front of your thumb and down to your palm. But you're also going to want to wrap it one more time. So now the yarn is going from the needle over the top of your thumb, then around the back, over the top of your thumb, around the back, and down to your palm. I'm going to set this whole thing up again for you, and we're going to get a little closer. So hold the little tail next to your needle. You're going to have the double strand on your left. The single strand, your working yarn, is going to go to the right. You're going to do a slingshot by dipping both fingers under there. You now have the single on your finger, the double on your thumb, but you're going to want to reposition the yarn on your thumb. So you'll drop it out and you'll come around the top again. And now the yarn is going to go over from your needle, over your thumb, and around the back. But you're going to want to wrap this one more time. So dip under again, and now you're going to have the yarn go from your needle over your thumb and around the back, over your thumb and around the back, and to your palm. So this stitch is made up of like a 2-step process. Each time you complete this sequence, you're going to end up with 2 stitches. The first is going to be a yarn over, and the second is going to be a regular cast on stitch. So to do the yarn over, you're going to take your needle and go under the finger yarn and have it lay across your needle. That is your yarn over. Grab that tail, try to keep it next to your needle because if it gets in the middle of things, it's just going to confuse you. So you've just done this yarn over, and I'll just show you how to do that again. You bring the yarn over to the outside of that finger yarn, and you have a yarn over right there over your needle. Now you're going to want to come around to your thumb, and you're going to want to go under both of those loops, and you see how you have an X there. Lovely X. So then you're going to reach over to that finger yarn again, and you want to pull it through both of those loops and tug tight. So you'll see here that these are my 2 stitches that were my slip knot. Here's my yarn over, and then this is my cast on stitch. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches now. So every time I do this, I'm going to add 2 more stitches on. So let's do this one more time. You'll set up a slingshot. Your double yarn is on your thumb, single yarn is on your finger. Reposition on your thumb and loop it one more time. You're going to go over the yarn on your finger to get a yarn over, then under the 2 loops on your thumb where there's an X, then over the yarn on your finger and pull that yarn through both loops, and then you can tug everything tight. So now you have 6 stitches. So you will just keep going in this manner. I'll do it one more time for you, just one more. So I set up like a slingshot. I reposition the yarn on my thumb and loop it a second time. I go under the yarn on my finger to do a yarn over. I go through the loops on my thumb, then reach for the yarn on my finger and pull it through both loops on my thumb and pull tight. So now I've got 8. Now if you look at the cast on, it's very pretty. It has a bump and then a smooth part, a bump, a smooth part, bump, smooth part, bump. So it's very pretty. This is actually a really good rugged cast on, good long-lasting one. It comes out of the I think the maritime tradition, so that it pairs well with things like Gansey sweaters, Aran sweaters for the cast on for the body of the sweater. It's very pretty. It's decorative. The one thing about it is this does make an even number of stitches because everything is done in pairs. So if you do want an odd number of stitches, one thing you can do is for the last stitch, you can just do like a long tail cast on stitch just to cap it off. The other thing you can do is you can cast on 2 extra stitches, I mean just one more sequence of this to get 2 more stitches than you need, and when you work your first row you can knit 2 together to eliminate one of the stitches. That's if you need an odd number of stitches. So that's the Channel Island cast on. Please look for my other videos, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.